if the city were to bring all of the businesses up to zoning code, what are the fines for these businesses and what would happen? I mean, I know that businesses can be made to close if they can't be brought to compliance. So
I think we're getting off
off
subject a little bit because
these are just questions I want to know.
yeah, well, you heard the term non-compliant. I mean, that if they've been there for years, they can stay doing the business. There's no, in building codes, that's completely different from zoning.
And the city can't move in and force a business to come up to compliance for a zoning? I just want this.
Brian,
on
I
record.
don't, you can answer that.
So, yeah, I think what I'm hearing is maybe two different, and correct me if I'm misunderstanding. So what I'm hearing is the question is whether or not the city can force a business to come up to code, like building code, right?
To zone code, yes.
Well, so zoning has to do with what uses are allowed on the property. And those, I mean, we've kind of in the last couple of meetings got into the concepts of grandfathering in and some of those things. So if you establish a use, well, it's legal to do that in an area, even though it may be rezoned or reclassified, you can continue to engage in that use up until the point when the use is abandoned or, I mean, I think Ms. Galley gave some good examples there. Now, code, on the other hand, we're talking about building codes, and those things work a little bit in the same way as zoning does, but a little bit different. So if
I'm not concerned about the building code.
Okay.
I'm just concerned if I were to buy a vacant building in Chisholm that hasn't been a business for a while and it's zoned as retail and I move in and open up something that's not retail, can you come in and step on my feet and tell me no?
Yes.
Yes.
Do all of the business owners in town know this, that with you rezoning this, you're actually stepping on business owners' feet?
Well, any business owner that's currently engaged in business can continue business the same way, even if the zoning were to change. They'd be grandfathered in on their existing use, so long as it's legal when the zoning change occurs.
How can you guarantee that? How can you guarantee the next council won't come in and say, nope, we're bringing them back up to zoning code?
The concept that we typically refer to as grandfathering is a legal concept. It's not a decision that councils make.
Okay, so they can't go back on that?
Correct.
So if I were to buy a building here, I can open up whatever business I want?
So long as it's legal in the current zoning.
Okay, so if I buy Miss Howard's building, I can put in industrial after you guys take away her industrial status?
So long as it's been operated in that capacity continuously during its lifetime.
I beg the city council not to allow this rezoning. I think that a lot of business owners in town are alarmed and they're not here tonight because they don't want to step up and say anything. I know several people are very much affected by this zoning, and I think zoning something done by the lake for tourism is ridiculous in this economy when you've got business owners here, some that have legacies. And you want to step on their toes, and I just think that we should really reconsider. These people have been here, we've been here. Cater to us, not people that are going to come visit here one day. And that's all I want to say. Thank you for answering my question.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, final person tonight, we have Colin Howard. Good evening, Colin.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you for the rest of the council for this opportunity.
Oh, sorry. Colin, we got a lot to do tonight. I let everybody else slide. Try to keep it to about 3 minutes if you could,
3
please.
minutes. Okay, I'll do an abbreviated version for you, but I'll make the full version available if anybody would like it. I represent the public at large that are for whatever reason not able to attend this meeting, but yet are still concerned in its outcome. The primary reason for our concern is the proposed rezoning of the Lake Street Commercial District to a homogeneous retail zone. We are interested in making a record of the number of existing retail-oriented businesses currently occupying the district's current carrying capacity, the number of new retail businesses that have recently occupied within the previous 10 years, the number of businesses that have permanently ceased operations within the previous 10 years, number of properties that are within the zone that are not currently conducting any business or otherwise abandoned, and the council's projected new retail businesses that will occupy within the next years and why they believe that projection to be correct.
Colin, please submit that. If there's something we can answer there, we will. You asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, I did. It was just kind of throwing them all out there. And in general, I would just like to say that why does the city feel like they would like to pick and choose which businesses they would like to occupy the main street when arguably we don't have a laundry list of businesses that are fighting to have those locations? Shouldn't we be welcoming to any, or at least most businesses instead of limiting them to a certain type or preferred type, or perhaps Living or Virginia would appreciate the increased tax income?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Randy?
I'm not correct. Retail means services as well as goods, right? So if a business is providing a service, it's a perfectly fine use. It doesn't have to be selling a retail good like a shirt or a piece of candy or something.
Well, according to the city ordinance 153.29, retail business districts have 4 authorized uses: office, financial, health, medical, retail, and accessory to special use, in the act of performing services to residences, not strictly businesses. So if I wanted to open a business and strictly service other businesses, I wouldn't be allowed to, according to your definitions, on the main street.
Because that would be commercial, right?
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's not changing. None of that's what's on you is changing.
And I would just suggest, rather than retail, because I do understand the need for the rezoning, to a general business which has much more, including the retail definitions for permitted use, which would allow greater opportunity to the city. And there are plenty of businesses in the city that have nothing to do with the main street, and perhaps the council doesn't even know of their existence because they are online only. You know, we live in a day and age where I don't need to have brick and mortar to conduct business. So why does the city think that we have such a grand opportunity for these people to take on the risk of brick and mortar and repairs and these such things rather than being online only?
So Colin, you do realize most of this is already zoned retail that you're talking about. Main Street's been retail for at least since, when was the last map?
The last map was in '02, but I.
And it was prior to that, so,
It was prior.
you know, there's only a number of different things that, the city was looking at rezoning here. That's 9, 7,
The only rezoning changes are the 7 changes on the map.
yeah, so,
And
Okay.
nothing in the downtown district is on Lake Street's getting rezoned.
it's been retail forever.
Maybe I misunderstood what the overlay was about, but my commentary still stands on the zoning restrictions. And I appreciate you reminding me of the previous zoning, but we can also rezone again and again and again. So anyway, just thank you for the time and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right, we'll move on to reports, council reports. Mayor-elect Lance, you got a report tonight?
I have no report. I'd like to apologize for missing the first meeting of the month. I was under the weather, but it is the end of my first 4-year term. I want to say thank you to everybody. It has been fabulous. All the employees have been great to work with, you know, in the city, and it's just, you know, I love what I do. Mayor, on your way out, thank you very much for everything you've done. I appreciate all the knowledge you've shared. Everybody else have a Happy New Year.
You're welcome. Councilor Michela report tonight.
Good evening. No report. Just thank you to Mayor Champa for coming back, and Happy New Year.
Councilor Vaki report.
I'll just echo, thank you to Mayor Champa for really, taking a brand new council when we got here 4 years ago and showing us the ropes and giving us your knowledge. It's certainly helped me. I've learned a ton. So thank you to on your way out. We'll miss you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have no formal report, Mr. Mayor, just Happy New Year to everybody and stay safe. And if you are out and about, make sure you have a sober ride. Thank you.
Thank you, April. Councillor Halverson, report.
Good evening. I attended the ambulance director interviews, and I'll also echo what others have said. John, your experience and wisdom has been a tremendous asset to the city. Your leadership is fantastic. You and I go back a long, long ways, and thanks for your many, many years way back then and for the recent 4 years.
You're welcome.
From my heart, thank you.
So, just a couple of things. I handed out a report, just kind of a wrap-up of, everything I had going on when I walked out the door. Feel free to share it with whoever you want. It's public information. Just a couple other things. We received a donation of a 1930s vintage firefighter's uniform today from the Taberzi family, who was Tom Taberzi's donated. His grandfather had been a firefighter in Chisholm back then, and I got some newspaper articles and stuff. I was going to see if Billy down at Bark could reproduce them for me so I could give them back to the family, because they're kind of history of his family, so to go along with it. But if we can get the public safety building built, it'd be maybe a nice display in there, a little history. So what else? It's been fun. First paragraph of my little email to you there, or my little report, is probably the most important thing I can share with you, and try to be respectful to each other up here. I think just about everybody that ran for office up here came here because, three of you ran for office because you felt like the city wasn't operating very correctly. Marty and Cheyenne were part of the downfall that happened because of a couple of people that were doing some bad things here, and they kind of went down with the ship. So I'm happy to have the two of you back, and I think the council operates pretty well together. You're not always going to disagree, but if you work through it, you can come up with the right answer most of the time. So, and Happy New Year. It's been a rough year. It's really been a rough year. These last few weeks, Jason, just tragedies. Eileen and her family, what a tragedy, losing her partner for 20-some years, and a lot of other people lost loved ones. That there's never a good time to lose them, but Christmas certainly is worse, during the holidays. So that's all I got. Ambulance. Peyton not here tonight. Fire chief, report tonight.
Good evening, everybody. Just a quick year-end review here. I'll start with our calls. It's not a good thing. We had a banner year, 196 calls for the year, which is about 35 calls above our previous high a couple years ago. We usually average 120, 140, so pushing 200 is not good. I want to thank all my guys down and guys and gals down at the fire department. No injuries reported all year. That's a good thing for what we do. They stayed safe. So, thanks. Maintenance. All our truck maintenance is done for the year. End of November, our engine 1 was brought down to Osceola, Wisconsin for custom fire. Get a ladder rack fixed. On the good side, they covered all costs, which probably saved us about $2,500. So thanks to Lieutenant Olson Temple for bringing that down and getting it back. It was down for a week. We did go through almost our whole maintenance budget this year. Our trucks are starting to show their age. It's going to be a conversation that's probably going to have to be brought up next year sometime, and start thinking of replacing them when the public safety building gets built. And just a safety reminder, if you don't have working smoke alarms or CO detectors, please buy some, check your batteries. They do save lives. we've been in too many houses where we can't find any during a fire or any, you know, and that's not good. So, please check them. That's all I have.
Council, anything for Chris? Chris, I just want to say thank you for stepping up when we needed you.
I wanna thank you for your support. I really do. Thanks a lot.
You know,
Means a lot.
you are a better politician than you said you were gonna be. So
I don't think I am, but.
You define up there, so, but thank you, you know, I see a lot of good things, you know, you guys are hiring firefighters, you're doing some trainings that are, you know, different types of trainings and stuff, and, I know the succession plan, you're really working on that for, you know, we need, you know, for the future, so, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Police Chief's gone. Building Official Mandy report tonight, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Councilors. I do have a year-end report for you. I just wanted to go through our building permits and the number of them, the value, and the permit fees we brought in, and then also our grant situation and what we brought in on that end. So in 2022, we had 183 permits applied for. That brought in a total permit fee of $29,639, and the value of all of those projects was $5,482,713. I messed that up. So we had a good year. It's average. It's not on the low end or it's not on the high end. It was very average. On the other side of things, we did take down 6 single-family dwellings and 6 garages, and we did get a total grant amount of $38,523. It was a good year, and I wanted to thank everybody for their support. And if anyone ever has any questions about zoning or anything, I always have an open door policy, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy. Council, anything for Mandy? Thank you. Engineers out. Public Works, Larry, good evening.
Evening, everyone. Just a short report. We are plagued with some short staffing in Public Works and throughout public utilities as well. So, and then we were given a water main breakup on Windy Hill over the Christmas holiday. So that ran for a couple days. It was just too cold. It was 10 below, and we can't even pump water when it's 10 below once we get the hole opened up. So we waited. Windy Hill's a mess right now. Thankfully, we don't have school buses, and so that helps a little bit. But Windy Hill's a little messy right now. So our response will be delayed. You know, we're hoping things come around within a couple weeks on staffing, and services will be normal. But even today, Lake Street still hasn't picked up the snow. It's just not the priority yet, but hopefully by the end of the week we'll get that cleaned up. And the roads are getting mashy. We have the nicest streets in town. A week ago when it was 10 below and everything was wiped off and all nice and hard and filled in, but now it's all mashy and wet again. So, but the weather is nice, so 33 degrees tomorrow. So just a water break and some short staffing to report, Mayor.
All right. I seen one of your employees today. He just got back from his appointment and he was
Yeah.
all bandaged up.
Yeah. We had 6 of 13 today, so we're a little short. But we'll work through it, so.
Good.
And you got the water main break
Yep.
all fixed and.
Yep, we had services back on about 11 o'clock last night. It was about a 16-hour day. So, and we plowed for 4 hours before we dug, so it was a long day.
Thank you, Larry,
Yeah.
and your crew.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll miss the mayor in Public Works too, and we appreciate his leadership and his time here, so. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Parks, Trails, Rec, Bridget, report tonight?
No report tonight, unless you have questions for me.
Anything for Bridget? Council, the skating rink is opened, if you read that on Facebook. Library, Katie, report, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Just a short report, just a reminder that we are continuing to have story times at Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Today we had 14 kiddos show up, so as long as the kids are showing up, we're gonna continue having story times, so we'd love to see you there. Other than that, just kind of wrapping everything up in the end of the year and getting prepared for the new year. But I just wanted to come up here and just let you guys know that it's just been a pleasure working with this council. So, thank you for your hard work and your dedication to the city, and it's really been a pleasure working with everyone here, so. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. City Attorney report tonight?
No formal report, Mayor.
Don't say anything for the attorney. City Clerk Treasurer Eileen is out tonight. Thoughts and prayers with her family during their tragedy. Terrible. City Administrator report tonight?
I just have a short report before our staff meeting today. I was just reflecting on the last year, which sometimes you do at this time of year, and to me, it's pretty amazing the things that we've been able to accomplish as a staff. And obviously that work would not be completed if we didn't have the staff we have. So I thank all of you for the hard work that you give to the city. It's much appreciated. Makes my job a lot easier, and you're valued for the work that you do. And also thank you to the council, the support from you. We couldn't get the work done all year. And Mayor Champa, I will miss you, and thank you for helping me through this process.
Well, thank you. You'll be fine. You don't let me do anything anyway. Adam, before I forget, did you sign the bills out there today?
I did not.
It was hidden on the back wall, so it's in the basket. I had to go find it myself, so. All right, so we'll move on. We'll conclude the reports. We'll move on to our consent agenda. This is your list of bills that was in your basket tonight when you got here. Communications, which are the November 10th, 2022 Police Commission meeting minutes. November 7th, 2022 HRA meeting minutes. December 5th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting minutes. Minutes of our previous city council meetings. The December 14th, 2022 public hearing meeting minutes. December 14th, 2022 regular meeting minutes. December 20th, 2022 special meeting minutes. Payroll and overtime. I get a motion to accept consent agenda, council.
Make that motion.
Thank you, Adam. Second.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. New business. Larry. First item is informational council. It falls within the spending levels of the Public Utilities Commission, but I'll have Larry talk a little bit about it, and then he can jump right into the next item.
Thank you, Mayor. Informational, we did have a premature failure of a pump at our main lift station, and I like to give some easy numbers sometimes, just for reference. We have 3 pumps in the main lift station. Some days we pumped up to 4 million gallons of sewer in a day, and that's all done by 3 pumps. So if you can imagine the need for 3 pumps, that's about our capacity. We've been really, really close to over capacity. Those crazy rainstorms we've seen, for example, Mayor-elect Lance was there. Yes, thank you. But we had that double storm on Memorial Weekend. We had the storm in the morning and the storm in the evening, and we were at capacity. So this premature failure was good that it happened now. It really showed us that our lift station, which I understand was retrofitted in 2012 with these pumps, they've had a good life, 10 years, and now they're starting to show their failures, which we've seen now. So we're rebuilding a pump that failed. In the wintertime when the ground's froze, that's no problem. We don't have those rains and that runoff that we have to worry about. So we have pumped about 4 million gallons of sewer a day with 3 pumps. So, and we're getting a pump rebuilt right now, which is valued around $45,000. So if for some easy numbers, and if there's no questions about that, we'll move on to council action on the next one.
Question.
Marty, please.
Are all 3 pumps identical, same brand, same style, same
Yeah,
everything?
exactly.
They're all hydromatic?
Yep. All identical.
Okay. Just, in my past, I seem to remember KSB pumps. You familiar with them at all, or flight pumps?
No.
Might be worth looking into. They're, I think, have a little bit better reputation.
Okay.
They probably cost more, but there's a reason for that.
Sure, absolutely.
Just,
Yeah.
just something to look into.
No,
We
absolutely.
can talk about it someday.
Yeah, thank you. So in that same conversation, or because of that conversation, is a request for council action to support the purchase of a 4th pump called a spare. And what we'll do is we'll put this brand new pump into service along with our rebuilt pump, so we get that warranty period over pumps, and we know they're good pumps. These pumps last 10 years and they pump up to 4 million gallons a day. That's amazing. If you can imagine it for $45,000 lasting 10 years and pumping those kinds of, those kinds of volumes of water. So this, what we'll do is we'll put a brand new pump in, and we'll put this rebuilt pump in so we know they're good, we get through the warranty period, and we'll have a spare pump if this was to happen in the middle of summertime. With a local electrician's help, we can put this pump into service and we can get one out for service. And some of the things we're seeing after COVID, and most of you know in the room, of some avenue or another, if it's shipping that used to be 2 days and now it's a week, we're seeing these pump rebuilds take 14 to 16 weeks. And then we're seeing this purchase, we won't even see this pump if approved tonight until at least spring, so. So that's what we're looking for council action to purchase this pump for $45,484 plus freight. And this is a light pump. They now have 4 of these pumps. They're all the same. They come out, they go in, there's no fabrication, that type of thing. So that's why the value is there, and it's not like competitively bid, we can switch right off the bat, so.
Okay, Council, Larry's looking for and this will come out of the public utilities
Yes.
funds as well,
Yeah.
but looking for a motion to purchase this spare pump, which will
Make that motion.
hopefully save us should we have a issue in the middle of the summer. I'm kind of surprised we don't have one, to be honest with you.
Me as well.
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, April. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. And it was approved item by the public utilities as well. So further discussion, Council? Marty?
Yep.
So there's a chance to look at the one that comes out to see what kind of shape it's in.
It's already at service center,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
And it's gonna be rebuilt.
yeah. The one that failed. Then the one that comes in, we'll have that evaluated as well.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely,
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then we may send that off for rebuild, so we have a brand new one again, we don't know yet until we look.
Awesome.
No further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Have a happy new year. Stephanie, incident and accident reporting policy, just an update.
Yeah, actually an action item. So as you all know, we've been working with Ravina to, for some of our HR consulting needs. And this is just an updated policy on incident and claims reporting guide. This has been rolled out to our department heads. Just need approval from council. Basically what it's doing is just streamlining everything, so we have better accuracy on if we have an incident and everybody's on the same page of what the process is moving forward. So we'll just need approval for that, to include that in our policies for the city.
Council looking for a motion to put that in our policies for the city.
Make that motion.
Thank you, Adam. Second.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Ice Arena Fieldhouse contract. Stephanie?
I'm just bringing back, this council has seen this once already for the Ice Arena Fieldhouse contract. It's approving the contract for an additional 5 years, and then we added the fieldhouse within this contract because it wasn't in the previous one. They have been doing some maintenance on the field house, we just wanted to add it, so the language is correct to what the work that's being done. I'm just looking for final approval or questions on that contract.
Budgeted item
Yes,
at this point.
yes it is.
Council looking for a motion to approve the Fieldhouse contract,
Make that motion.
amended Fieldhouse contract, I should say. Thank you, Adam. Second.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Discussion? Marty?
Yeah, one question. Page 35, for, July 1st of '22, was that the expiration date? We're going retroactive?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah, that was my question too.
Yeah, it was just, it's expired contract.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. Yeah, we added it actually, it wasn't to begin with.
All right, no further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So our next item, resolution 1222-112. our CM has brought this to us. They're ready to go for bids on this. They're on with us tonight, the superintendent, and I just we'll kind of turn it over to him to talk. But they feel we're ready. They feel we're in a kind of a sweet spot. One of the first ones coming out of the gate. We should be able to get the best prices. Good evening. I'll turn it over to you. Hopefully I didn't lie too much.
Oh, Brandon, I can't hear you. Hold on one second.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. So yeah, we have the plans in front of you. Wendell, in conjunction with AP, we're working on making some cost savings measures, some value engineering options to the plans. So if you have a copy of my estimate, I believe it's line items, it should be line items 49 through 66. Is work in progress, that is, we're working on, planning on having done by January 6th. So yeah, you're correct, we feel December and January are the best months to bid. We typically see bid inflation for the month of February, more inflation for the month of March, and even more for the month of April for a scheduled spring or early summer start. So we're a little bit behind on where we initially wanted to be due to having to make some of these value engineering options, some of these cost savings measures. So we want to ask you to approve the plans and specs that's in front of you today and authorize us to send the project out to bid, which would mean we will have a signed set of stamped drawings completed with all those changes in it, issued out to bid for January 9th with a January 26th bid opening. Anybody have any questions on our timelines or the plans or the specifications? I know we've been meeting the last couple of weeks with the committee, been going through some of these changes and some of these cost savings measures. I think a lot of them are, they're not even noticeable. There's some material changes, there's some minor design changes with roofing, etc. I don't feel they compromise the integrity of the building or the project, but at the end of the day, those options are totaling up to about a little over $800,000 worth of savings.
Thank you, Brandon. Council, anything on that? Myself, I would agree with Brandon that the later we get into the spring, the worse this gets. You get a few of these, you get one project comes out the door and a lot of our contractors bid it from around the area and we got a whole different ball game. So I think we need to do this.
I just have one technical question. Brandon, thanks for responding. I'm just seeing your responses here now, and it looks like they will be addressed. I guess my one concern still remains with my question 4 on the civil works. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't see anything there on, like, how thick is the class 5? How thick is the pavement? Are we putting geotextile in, basic, stuff like that? In fact, the version I have, there was nothing in the civil spec at all, like 0. There was detailed specs on everything, but nothing on civil works.
Yeah, and we've actually, so I've been working and bidding on Northland Consulting Engineers projects for quite a while. The first time I seen that was probably 5 or 6 years ago. I did raise concern at the time because we're all used to seeing, a spec section for each section of work, right? Mm-hmm. But I can tell you we've bid multiple of their projects. They have MnDOT specifications referenced, and they have a pretty solid general notes section on both civil and structural to cover that, and after you sent that email, I thought about it, and we have never experienced any issues to date, I will say, with that. I think they have their bases covered, at least from our perspective, and as well as some of the subcontractors in the past as well.
Okay. Maybe I missed it, but do they have a typical section for the roadways in there? I couldn't see it, or maybe I just missed it.
It should be in there. I saw there's a roadway section cut through there that shows the class 5, and I know they're changing that to class 7 now.
Okay.
But they are in there along with some of their cuts with their curb and gutter details as well.
Okay.
I'd have to dig back through and point them up and find them, but.
Okay, thank you. No, I don't want to hold it up. I just was, maybe I just missed it when I was looking at it. Sorry.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Yes, April, go ahead.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. But, so this is like three more $1 million than what we all kind of like talked about, right? Did we all kind of like talk about 9 million, and this is at 12 million?
Correct.
So this is an added 3 million that we kind of have to decide on tonight.
No, we gotta
Right.
get the bids back. You don't know, it's an engineered estimate based on what their best guess. It could come in at 9, right?
So we have to accept the bid once it comes in. That's where we make a decision on if we can afford it or not.
Okay. Thank you for helping me understand that.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, we talked about that early on, and obviously the only true indication of what the number is going to be is once we bid it out. This market is so volatile right now, has been for the last 2 years. 2 years ago, I would have said our estimate is pretty darn close, but for the last 2 years, it's just been volatile, and projects are over budget, they're under budget. It's been somewhat hard to estimate. I do feel that we're close, but also, once we send this out and get the bids back, we will know exactly where we sit, and then you'll have, decision to make at that time if you want to enter, award the contracts for the value.
Thank you.
Also looking for a motion to adopt resolution 1222-112 to allow us to go out for bids on the project.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Marty. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Adam. It's been a long time coming. I hope we get close enough. I know we continue to work with Representative Liz Lagarde has reached out to us to see if there's anything he can do with $47 billion or whatever it is sitting in the state legislature. So, maybe some additional monies will come across our desk, and there's a lot of alternates on here and stuff. So, maybe we can build it all back in. So, I think it'd be a beautiful building. So hopefully we can put it together.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, last item on the irregular agenda tonight is resolution 1222-113, final levy and budget. I had Stephanie give us a breakdown, or Eileen and Stephanie give us a little breakdown of what 7 is, 6 is, 5 is. Kind of as we discussed last week, we don't actually have all the money we need to do some of the projects we're doing. We're hopeful that we see some decreases in gas prices, which will free up a lot of additional money if we do see it, because our budgets went up considerably because of gas prices, where they were sitting when these budgets were prepared. Larry and Jim also mentioned possibly foregoing some of the what do you call that? We crack sealing and seal coating. There, what 50,000 there that we possibly could do, because we feel we need to look at some of these alleys with the inclines on them. Obviously, public safety building is front center. And after the meeting, I did ask Larry just outright what he felt was the biggest concern in the city from his side of the desk. and that Fifth Street he's concerned. So, if that thing collapses, we do probably have to pump from wherever we can get to the sewage to wherever we can put it so it free flows to, it's gotta get to the main lift, so, try to keep it on the radar. So, priority, I think, for the city is get the public safety building started, get that Fifth Street done, and get some of these alleys cleaned up for next year. And once again, we've been talking to Representative Lilligard, and hopefully he can come through with some additional funds, so. I'm not set fully on 7%. We're about, if you look at difference between 7 and 6, you're about 20,000, little more than 20,000 each percentage you go down. Truthfully, there's how much money we don't have, and every percent you go down is more we don't have. So, bigger gap to get these projects done. I would stay at 7 myself. Council wants to go down from there. I'm not going to stop you. I'm going to be gone. So, thoughts?
I think we gotta stay at 7. I don't think there's any way we can lower it, given our financial position and our circumstances. I can't see it going down.
Yeah, you know, the hard numbers, when we look at our budgets, the fixed costs for our departments with gas and electricity and some of the other things, I mean, we're in a $300,000-$400,000 area. At 14,000, we're at about 150. So we've, we're operating on $250,000 less than we were just even at 7, so last year. So unreal hard numbers, fixed costs. So I'll entertain a motion. Marty, you make that a motion?
I'll make it a motion that we stay at the 7% that we set at the preliminary levy.
Is there a second for that motion?
Support.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Adam. Further discussion, council? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Council, I'm going to pass this gavel to Mayor-elect Lance to adjourn my meeting.
For a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
Support? Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Yeah? I'll be around somewhere.
Congratulations.